Sure. I had a great introduction before, but now I can't remember it. I'll just jump right to the point. Um, we've got a new bullet at Berger. It's a hybrid, and it's in 375 caliber. Um, we have a couple of solid bullets in 375, lathe turn bullets, but we wanted to have a bullet, traditional, we call a cup and core. So using, Berger jackets and our same technology that we use to make those jackets and have it in 375 caliber. This bullet, we expect great things out of this. The one of the reasons why Berger hybrids are so accurate, I shouldn't say accurate, why they're so precise, they shoot such small groups. It all starts with the jacket. In quality control at the Berger plant, the jackets are measured for runout, and the runout has to be less than 3/10,000ths of an inch. Uh, my understanding is the average runout usually is about less than 2/10,000ths of an inch. So, we spin a jacket and we use a dial indicator on that jacket, and we're measuring total indicated runout. That's the basis of all of the accuracy of those bullets. We sell the J4 jackets. These are the J4 jacket. So what that gives us is extremely a rugged hybrid design. If you look at sort of a trend line of designed bullets from Berger, the 105 hybrid. If you scale that 105 hybrid up to 6.5 millimeter, you get a 140 grain hybrid. If you scale that same bullet up to 30 caliber, you get the 230 grain hybrid. All those bullets known to be accurate, easy to load for, very tolerant for jump, all those things. So this 375 grain bullet is 410 grains, and it's simply a scaled up hybrid version of the 105 all the way up to 375 caliber. We've tested this. We've tried to kill the bullet because we know our customers are pretty rough sometimes. An engineer designs a bullet thinking that they're only going to shoot it at, say, 2,800 feet per second. And then somebody like you wildcats a case, orders a custom barrel, and next thing you know, they're shooting it, 300 feet per second faster. So we've tested this bullet up to and over 3,100 feet per second. And it's still holding together and still providing good accuracy. Also, with this hybrid design, for extreme long range shooting, which I've done a good bit of, the real metric of how well your rifle shoots at distance, so we're talking in excess of a mile, 2 miles, is not so much this well, it's standard deviation, but it may not be the standard deviation of what you think. The standard deviation number that we're used to tracking is muzzle velocity. So muzzle velocity standard deviation, it's easy to measure, it's easy to control, it's our loading procedures, all these things that we do as hand loaders. But standard deviation of BC is arguably more important at extreme long range. So that means that every time I fire a bullet, if I take a snapshot of that bullet's ballistic coefficient using radar, for example, and I write all those BC numbers down, I can extrapolate a standard deviation of those BCs. So this design bullet has a BC standard deviation of less than 1%. And that is truly what you need at extreme long range. Each percentage of standard deviation of ballistic coefficient is equal to about 14 feet per second of muzzle velocity standard deviation. So BC standard deviation is extremely important, and it really shows up when the bullet starts losing velocity and we're really pushing out there. So this bullet's going to be available this fall, and we're in all of our internal testing. It's shooting great. If a shooter has a gun already chambered with a reamer designed for solid bullets, this will shoot right in that same chamber. Also, there's the possibility of making a custom reamer for this bullet, but we designed it so that if there was a 375 caliber shooter like ShyTech, for example, or the Enabler, and their gun was set up to shoot existing solid bullets in the 400 grain range, this bullet should shoot great right out of the gate. Um, We've got increased capacity this year. We've got new jacket and bullet machines coming online. So all that put together means that I really feel like this bullet is going to make a huge splash in the extreme long range market. It, one of the problems with solid bullets, as good as they are, is the cost of manufacture. And so when we can make a bullet in traditional manufacturing practices, we can bring the cost down and make that entry into extreme long range a little bit of a less painful bite. So that's the news on the bullet front from Berger.
I hear you guys also have some brass offerings, some exciting stuff, uh, particularly for the F class guys. At least some of them, and also the PRS world.
Well, yeah, I mean, Erik, being the F class, emperor that you are, um, that the trend in F class cartridges is going up in terms of, especially in F open, it's going up in terms of powder capacity and ability. When F class open first started, 6.5 284 was kind of considered the peak performance, and then people have been kind of pushing it up and up and up as you go around the world, shoot these matches. Wind drift is a very, very important thing, especially you lay down and there might be 25, 30 mile an hour wind going on. And the targets are so small and so difficult in F class. So going up the trend line into the magnum calibers, we see quite a few shooters now shooting cartridges in 300 WSM. And so that's why we really made an effort at Lapua to bring that 300 WSM cartridge to market. So this year we will have Lapua made 300 WSM cartridge cases, and that cartridge is one of our most requested cartridge cases, not only for competitive shooting but for the long range hunters. So we should have those cartridges here in the United States in the spring, and they'll have all the same characteristics of every other Lapua case, which is extremely high quality, consistency, and the durability of a Lapua case. Lapua cases are designed to have multiple reloadings without having to use annealers. I know everybody uses those things now, but the cases are designed for up to at least 10 rounds, 10 firings, at normal pressures and maintain that same performance. So this is something I've been involved with personally, trying to push to get this particular cartridge case made. So I'm very, very pleased, and we should have it in the United States in the spring.
Good. And of course, you guys are also doing a 6GT, correct?
Yeah, I'll let Ken cover that. He's been at ground zero at 6GT for a long time.
I guess I should check my audio too.
You should.
Can people hear me?
You're good. You're good.
Hello. Oh, fantastic. So I came over to Capstone from working with George over in Kansas City at GA Precision. So that's right, ground zero for 6GT. One of my good friends, Tom Jacobs, he's actually the T in the GT. So I'm really pleased to have some small part in pushing this to the marketplace. This cartridge was primarily and initially designed to accommodate and optimize for the Precision Rifle Series style matches. I've actually been shooting it in the Phoenix area at some of the mid-range F open stuff, or excuse me, the F class style competitions, and it's been performing remarkably well. I mean, I'm it's actually pretty wonderful. I've been getting absolutely schooled. I thought I knew how to shoot groups, but once you start shooting F, it's my goodness, and the people are fantastic. As with all disciplines, they gather around you and try to coach you up. But I think I dropped 3 points, and I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't even near the leaders. I was like, how did I miss 3 points in mid pack? It
We lost your audio there, Cam. There you. You're back.
so as far as the design of the Lapua case, it's a little bit, or it's the intention is that it's going to really closely match the original design, which was built off of the 6.547 Lapua. It has a little bit more beefiness, and I remember George Gardner telling me that he was testing some of the original wildcatted cartridges out past 20 reloads. I mean, that's not something that we would guarantee to you, but as you know, it's people understand Lapua to be extremely durable. And I think that you sing its praises as well in F Open. As hard as everybody runs those cases in F class, I mean, you can take a look at some of the equipment lists that have been published by Desert Sharpshooters about that NRA competition, NRA F class competition that just happened in Phoenix, and it's it's like Lapua all the way up and down the board there. So people should expect to have really good longevity on their brass. Uh, you know, it's definitely understood that Lapua has a price point, but you calculate that out to um, price per shot and how long that brass lasts you. Um, it turns into something that makes economic sense. Um, as far as the internal dimensions, um, it was a little bit different when GA finally came out with Hornady and Alpha. It was a little bit more case capacity. One of the original intentions um, was to run right at about 34 grains of Varget through at a really high case fill, and the whole idea was to have that shorter powder column and kind of have that inherently small SD number available to shooters, so you didn't have to do a lot of tuning. You know you could just run that. Roundabouts numbers as far as manufacturing. They're still looking at fall for production and delivery of the GT. So I'm really excited. Um, there's a couple of other things that I'd like to mention. It looks like you're scheduled for SHOT Show. Is
Yeah.
that right? Uh, so we're in booth 11227, usually like we usually are at SHOT Show. And you are there. It looks like on Tuesday from 1 to 3.
Yep. So I'm gonna be at Shot Show at the Lapua booth from 1 to 3 p.m. So if you guys wanna come and hang out and meet me and shoot the shit, as they say, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm and daily at our booth at Shot. Our booth is a combined booth, so it's Berger, VihtaVuori, um, Lapua, and SK. Those are all the brands that are represented at our booth. And that's 11227 daily at 10 a.m. for an hour. Um, Myself and Brian Litz will be there discussing ways to increase your hit percentage. So, AKA the Emil and Brian Comedy Hour. I just kind of try to hold on and not have my eyes go all glassy when Brian just starts being Brian. Um, you know, I try to help. He's really good at kind of having a message that's good for the masses. Without getting too sciency. But it was very successful last year. We had a really good turnout each day, and it's more like a little mini seminar. So I encourage people, if they're at SHOT, if you have time, to come by at 10 o'clock and say hi to Brian and I, and go ahead and ask any of us any questions that come to your mind.
Well, now can I ask some tough questions now? uh, I'm reading some of these comments, and obviously, the big question is, where's the 105 hybrids?
So I know that we are making 105 hybrids almost every day. I know that over the last couple of months, we've made a lot, like almost a million. So I anticipate 105 hybrids, our back order getting reduced gradually. Those bullets should be on their way out there through people's normal distributors, wherever they normally get their bullets. There are big distribution accounts, like Grafs and Brunos and Midway, etc. The normal people that people buy their bullets from. So they're being made as we speak. Right now, there's some little Berger bullet elf in Mesa, Arizona, working a bullet press. I promise you, with 105s getting spit out. We're trying to prioritize the bullets that we are the most, sort of the most demand for. So that's the 6.5 140s, the 6 millimeter 105s, the 6 millimeter 109s, etc. So they're being made, and hopefully, hopefully the shooting public will start to see those show up. That we're making right now about 30, almost 40% more bullets a month than we were making like 2 years ago. So it's just the demand has continued to increase. So, and it really isn't ever since 2020. There's just been the hit that it has not peaked yet for for products like the 6 millimeter
So
105.
if I think I heard in one of the meetings that in the last 3 or 4 years, Berger has actually doubled or close to doubling their production and still can't quite keep up. So you guys are doing what you can, but you guys are still behind.
We are, and at the same time, we're trying to make the bullets we're making now better than they've ever been. So we have a lot of engineering and institutional know-how down there. So we're doing everything we can to make, so when you pull the bullet out of the box, it's what you would expect it to be. We know you guys pay a lot of money for these projectiles, so we're trying to make them as good as they can be.
Now, what about powder? Can we talk about powder availability? I mean, I know you guys are behind on just about everything. So what is that looking like on the powder front?
I think that we expect to bring in about as much powder this year as we did last year. The big events in the world have affected powder supply probably more than anything else. Like the war in Ukraine, and powder purchases all throughout the world by ammunition manufacturers have really stressed that system. They are also improving capacity at VihtaVuori in Finland to be able to provide more powder than they did last year. I'm anticipating that we're going to bring in about as much or more as you did last year, and we're going to try to concentrate on some of those powders that really perform well in like applications like 6GT. So your N140s, your N150s, that are really, really stable 1 series, and trying to really hit our new powders like N565, which is a great workhorse powder for lots of different cartridges. Try to get as much of that stuff to you as we can.
Another question that I have for you is, I know you guys are focusing on making the favorites, right? Obviously, I understand supply and demand. If you guys are making a bullet, it's because you guys are selling it, correct? The one that when I went to and took the tour, I saw you guys making a ton of 87 grain 6 millimeters, and I asked, why are you making those? We just make the 105s, and from what I understand, you guys sell the crap out of those bullets as well. So just because maybe in our bubble we don't think it's important. You guys have the big picture, and if you're making it, it's because you guys are selling it. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, our order stock is what drives production scheduling, right? So order stock is how many bullets that are currently on order. Um, and what you might have seen is, we have one bullet press down there, which is an old bullet press, but it's designed to just make short 6 millimeter bullets, like bench rest style and varmint bullets. So, I mean, that is one, like that one particular press, we couldn't make 105s on it. So that's why we bought and put into production, I think, four new bullet presses, as well as a couple of new jacket presses. The choke point on our production are the jackets. Just to kind of, kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. It takes us longer to make jackets than by far than it does to make bullets because of all the, and you've been on the factory tour, you see all the quality control, all the checks on those jackets. So, but order stock drives our orders, and but we have lots of other things to make at the same time. The the advanced sniper rifle, the Mark 22, that's shooting a Berger 215 grain hybrid. So we're making millions of those bullets a year and delivering them to the company that has the contract to load that sniper ammunition for our warfighters. Same thing, the Berger 140 grain 6.5 millimeter hybrid. That bullet is also the bullet that is in the Army and Special Operations Command 6.5 Creedmoor round, the M1200. So we have to make millions of those a year as well. So those are both for military contracts and for our warfighters. So, to balance out, I know before I came and started working in the industry, it's hard to see past your particular, what your little silo is that you're looking into. But, we have lots of bullets in our catalog, and there's a high demand for all of them. But we understand particularly like 105s and 140s and those bullets that your audience really needs. We understand that, and we're prioritizing those bullets.
What about the VihtaVuori primer? I know they're going to make primers. How are those coming along?
I think the project is ongoing. I wouldn't. I'd probably get fired if I tried to tell you a date about when we're going to have primers. I will say the first priority is going to be internal use. So that's all the ammunition that we load at Lapua, ammunition that we load for Berger ammunition in Mesa, and also some of our, we're part of a larger company called Nammo, and Nammo makes a lot of military ammunition in Sweden and Norway. The Raufoss round in 50 caliber, that's a Nammo cartridge, and that's made in Norway. So initially, it's for our internal use, and then as we ramp up production, we should have enough of primers eventually to start bringing them to the civilian market. But I would say certainly within 2 years, we should have them internally for our own use. But these are massive projects. You were talking, when you want to build a primer factory, you're basically building like a bomb factory somewhere. So there's lots of infrastructure and everything else that has to happen to build one of those facilities. So maybe if we get you on a plane, Erik, maybe we'll get you over there to VihtaVuori and let you throw a couple hand grenades while you're over there. That's also, VihtaVuori is also where we make one of the hand grenades we sell. They're awesome. So we'll get you on a plane to VihtaVuori. You can look at the new project and let's throw.
You had me at hand grenades. Speaking of hand grenades, let me throw one at you. What's happening with the suspended cartridges? Anything on that?
So I was actually in a meeting this morning, an overseas video call this morning for a few hours, and we were looking at the suspended cartridge list. So it's something that we're continuing to assess. About which ones that we can bring back into manufacturing, and which ones we need to. And the suspended cartridge list is because they're in competition on those cartridge case lines for other things that we have higher demand for. So some of the carts like the small rifle primer stuff or whatever, or like 6.5 by 47. um, you may see 6.5 by 47 come back fairly soon, sooner than we expected. Due to some of our orders that we can reduce some of our current orders to Lapua, and some of the demand at Lapua for military type cartridges might be going down in the future. So it's continually to be assessed, and as soon as we can, we'll start bringing some of these back.
Okay. Another question that they're asking in the chat is when are the grenades going to be available for us to purchase?
So yeah, they're I mean, retail price on a scalable hand grenade, I think, is a couple $100 or not bad. We got a 3-for-1 deal. Um, so we'll see. I don't know. I tried selling them out of Red Wagon down in Seattle. They shut me down pretty quick, so I got to find a new place. So I was thinking about shutting down I-5 and opening up a hand grenade stand maybe next week.
They'll sell out faster than 105 hybrids, I bet. um, Speaking of hybrids, 180 hybrids. This is for my own personal benefit, obviously. How is that? I mean, I know you guys are. When I was there at the factory, you guys were making the hybrids, but I understand the demand is quite high.
It is. I mean, that's one of our most popular bullets. It works in lots of different applications. And another bullet like the 180 is the 215 hybrid. We run into lots of long range hunters that use some of these target hybrids as hunting bullets. You get them at a high enough velocity and they really perform well. I mean, it's based on order stock, and we try to rotate it to try to serve as many of our customers as we can, for sure. But yeah, we're still making them. Still making them.
Hey, Eric, to answer your question directly, we're making them right now. But what I see a lot on forums is like, oh, it's right here. For their favorite projectile. Oh, it's available here, and it's like, oh, I missed it. There's a lot of that going on because, and it should kind of clue people in, like, hey, we're shipping a ton of bullets. But the demand is so high still, and it will be for, I think, quite a long time. The 105s, the 7mm 180s, I would love to see 220Xs come back into production, because I'm trying to get into the FDR, but the 105s, for example. Like everybody hears, yeah. I mean, we know what everybody's asking for, and it's just big pushes throughout all of our systems to get time on those machines. So we're hearing everybody, and we're really doing our best on this one.
Oh, good. I know you guys are.
I mean, one of our bullet presses will make. I think the numbers around, monthly, somewhere north of 200,000 bullets one bullet press can make per month. So we're continuing to try to. One of the other things, but it's a big capital investment to get one of these things made, and you just can't go down to Costco and grab you a bullet press. So these things are all essentially bespoke, made to our specifications. And so the lead time on new machinery, everybody's trying to increase their capacity. So lead time on new machinery is up to a year. So if we tell our people that make these things for us, we want a new press, it's 9 months to a year to get the thing built, installed, inspected, and then us ready to turn the key on and start making bullets. So In a way, the massive demand that started in 2020 with COVID and all the other things that happened in 2020, it took everybody by surprise. I mean, literally every single company took us all by surprise. And so, our all the measures we put in place to try to address the demand, I feel like we're really now just starting to come online with a lot of that increased capacity. So hopefully, down the road, I know nobody likes being told, "Hey, no, 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 it's coming," but I think down the road you should see a lessening in some of this demand. Hopefully.
All right, perfect. So you guys heard it. We're gonna be at SHOT Show. Praslik's gonna be there, and I'm gonna be there from 1 to 3. So if you guys want to come hang out on Tuesday, I'm gonna be there. Praslik, what other days are you gonna have that class, or is it just on day one?
It's every day. It's every day at SHOT. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Um, we'll be there. Brian and I
What
will be
time?
there at the booth at 10
10
to
to
11
11 a.m.
a.m.
All
Vegas
right,
time.
perfect. All right, that's it. Anything else you want to add?
No, just keep doing what you're doing, man. I run into all kinds of people that like, Eric Cortina. I'm like, I could tell you stories about Eric Cortina. But I just speak for myself. I'm really proud of you, everything you've done here, man, and thanks for giving us the opportunity to tell your audience
All
about some of
right.
our
Well,
stuff.
they know that's what I use, and I love it. As you know, I'm like Ricky Bobby. I just want to win, so I use your products. All right, that's it. Thank you. Keep them centered.